Hey everyone, I'm your host, Courtney Massey.
And I'm your host, Valerie David, and this is the night session.
Yes, like Valerie said, this is the night session. Thank you for tuning in to listen to us babble on about butts and such. Um, so
All about
let's
the butts.
all about the butts. It really is turning into a butt webcast. Anyway, love it. So Valerie went to Cincy for the Western Southern Open. And so she's going to
Woo!
start off talking about that. And I can't wait to hear about her stories. I'm so excited. So take it away, Valerie.
Oh, this was the big story. As you can remember, we had Andy Murray loves talking about cock. Ryan Harrison does not like cock.
Not at all, it seems.
No, as you can tell from his angry face. This was a big news. This was very early on in the tournament. It was a night match, and it went long because the Nicolescu match beforehand was like 3 hours long.
Wow.
It would not end, and so this match got started very late, and so it was that time of day where all of the fans were sitting on one side because court 3 has shade, but only on one side. And then
Yeah.
the other side, you're getting roasted because it's all metal bleachers. So when you look at my pictures, it looks like there's no one there, but there were actually quite a few people there that were just all behind me. So, but yeah, there was still, it was not a packed house because it was late at night. And both of these guys were feeling kind of emotional. Um,
A lot of emotions, a lot of things going on.
lot of things going on, and I, I Kokkinakis has kind of, I think, for a while been trying to get out of Kyrgios's shadow, just in general. Of Kyrgios is more flashy and was making bigger matches and stuff like that, and then when the Kyrgios Wawrinka stuff happened, then Kokkinakis was seemed to be very in a very touchy mood as it was. And then Harrison, we all know that he's rather volatile, and he hasn't been going as far in tournaments as he would like. So they both really wanted to win this match. So tensions were high. And so you can go to the next one.
Yeah, you're gonna have to guide me for this because we didn't work on like special words where I'm supposed to do.
Right. I'll just tell you moving along. So the this is where we sat because this was the view I would get. So we were over behind the baseline. So this becomes important later when things happen at the net, and we were a little too far away to hear some of the brouhaha that was going on.
The brouhaha.
The brouhaha,
I
not
love
to
when
be
you say that.
not to be confused with hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha. Which is a whole nother story. Anyway, we just went to this match, and I was here to enjoy my beautiful Harry and his beautiful butt. And I'm hoping this will be a good match, and maybe Harry will win because he deserves to, and he's awesome. So, they were actually playing a really good match. The quality of the tennis was high. Um, Harry was actually being more aggressive than he usually is, so that was nice to watch. But it was pretty evenly matched. So again, the tensions were kind of high, and they were both disputing a ton of line calls. Uh, one time, Harry questioned one of Moe's overrules and asked him if he was Superman because only Superman would have been able to see the line from where he was. So that's kind of how things were going, and you can go over to the next one. This lady here behind Kokkinakis in the pink was a Ryan Harrison fan, extremely enthusiastic, and through the entire match was going, "Come on, Ryan! Come on, Ryan!" And it's like, this is why I always like to cheer him as Harry, because when girls say Ryan and it sounds really whiny. And
Ryan, come on.
Ryan. And there were quite a few people doing it, but this girl in particular was like pretty much on every point. And Kokkinakis, it was driving him crazy. And so he was like rolling his eyes every time she did it. He was mimicking, yeah, right, behind the baseline every time we turned around, and just complaining about it's after every fucking point. Every fucking point. Come on, man. And at one point he was like, both of them were just dropping F-bombs left and right. It's like they both could have gotten violations up the wazoo. Mo just ignored all of it, I guess. I guess he figured they were both doing it so much it canceled each other out. I don't
Yeah.
But
Or
Kokkinakis
you
got
felt sympathy towards.
yeah. Kokkinakis got close to our side at one point, and he was at every fucking point. Come on, Ryan. Fuck. And then he looked at us and he went, sorry.
See, I would have, if I was there, I would have been for Kokkinakis and I would have mimicked her, but for Kokkinakis.
Oh, well, there was some of that. He did have supporters, so the crowd was kind of getting into it too. But as you can see, these people all smiling. Everybody was kind of having a good time with it. You know, the guys were kind of touchy about stuff, but it was funny. You know, it was like both of them asked people for if calls were in or out, and Kokkinakis asked somebody if Ryan's ball was in, and then he said, "Are you American?" after the person answered. And then Ryan asked, like, 2 games later, came over and said, "Was that out?" And when the person answered, he goes, "You're not just saying that because you want me to win."
That's funny.
So, I mean, this is kind of how this match was going.
I wish I was there. This makes me so sad.
I know.
I'm not there.
It was fantastic. I said they were both bitching about stuff. Kokkinakis was totally ticked off because Mo overruled 2 shots in Ryan's favor on break point.
Oh.
And then he just kept going on about it, and it was still break point. And so then Ryan got pissed that he was delaying, playing the next point. And so then they started to kind of get into it over that. And so then the tensions kind of escalated a little bit. You can go to the next picture. And this was kind of after they had that like extensive arguing. When they went on the changeover, Harrison started saying some stuff that Kokkinakis didn't like. And so Kokkinakis went for him. And I mean, he really went for him. It wasn't just like he got up out of his chair or whatever. I mean, he was heading over there.
Oh, wow.
And Mo, I have never seen him move this fast in my life. He slid down that ladder like a fireman. I have pictures of him with his feet off the ground, and he used Kokkinakis as a brace as he was jumping down off the chair. He kind of like landed on Thanasi. And he bounced back up, and you could see here he's pushing Thanasi back.
I love how it turned into like Monday Night Raw real quick. Like he's freaking doing power bombs off the chair, like
exactly. So I said we were behind the baseline, so we saw all this was going on, and you could hear some things being shouted when it escalated, but we didn't hear everything specifically. Ben Rothenberg from the New York Times was closer to where they were, and so he wrote about stuff. And apparently Harrison said, if he wants to get into it, I will bury him. Wawrinka should have decked Kyrgios, and I should deck that kid.
Yeah, I think my friend has that on video.
Yeah,
I will have to check. I think I can always retweet it, but I think Veronica, my friend, has that on video. So if she does, we'll include it somewhere.
Yeah. So it's Rothenberg interviewed Ryan too, and he owned up to saying that he was pissed off about the Kyrgios thing with, and he kind of feels like Kokkinakis and some of the other younger players all have like way too much attitude, and they're extremely confrontational and like disrespectful. He said while they were playing the match, he just felt the whole time that Kokkinakis was just like, I can't believe I might actually lose to this guy. That was the vibe he was getting nonstop. And so it just started to get him all hot. And so he said he didn't think that Thanasi was, like a bad guy. It was just that he just kind of got irritated, which is kind of how Harrison is. It's like if you've seen him play in person, some of that stuff that seems really hot tempered on TV, when you see him in person, it's like he's just crabby. It's like he just kind of bitches about stuff, and then sometimes he laughs about it afterwards. I mean, he was laying into Mo about line calls, and then Mo overruled like the next call or something, and Ryan stuck his tongue out at him.
Oh my gosh.
And then that's when Mo called him for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Did he really?
Yes. For sticking his tongue out.
How didn't he just laugh? Like, that's funny.
Well, what it was he was laughing because Ryan just like burst out laughing and went, "Come on, it was a joke." And Mo's like, No, it's too much. You kicked a ball into the stands. You've been swearing. This is it. And so Ryan went, okay.
That's funny though. I would die if just Ryan he's so hot and all of a sudden just goes,
That's what it was. It was like
neener. Like,
yes.
That's hilarious.
It was. I mean, everybody there was dying. They just thought it was all hilarious. Then you can go to the next.
That's amazing. This needs to be on video. All of it, the whole thing.
I know. So this is my favorite picture of the whole thing because Ryan is doing air quotes.
Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. He stuck his tongue out and did air quotes.
He did air quotes. Which apparently was when he was saying something like, your crew is really cool. Or something. So
oh my God.
Put really cool in air quotes, I guess.
Can we make like a Mean Girls spoof of this? This needs to be a movie. Like, they're hysterical.
I know. And I have like 100 pictures from this of each expression with Mo keeps trying to calm Thanasi down and Harrison's in the back just poking the bear.
You're really cool.
Yeah. Oh, why don't you come over and it's just like,
oh my gosh,
it's just like this. It's just funny. I said at no point. I mean, we were a little worried when Mo had to jump down and get in between them, but it's that was like the most volatile it got, and then Mo mostly just had to kind of keep trying to calm Thanasi down, and I think you can go to the next picture. Yeah, and this was he got Thanasi kind of chilled, and then he went over to Ryan to tell him to stop talking.
Stop your air quotes, put them away. Put them away.
And they had this big, extensive conversation to the point where Ryan said, well, I guess I'll change my shirt while we're having this conversation. And this, I had to put this in here because he's just gorgeous and half naked and
pissed and naked, the way I like my men.
That's right. He's hot and hot.
Yes.
I mean, his eyes are so blue, and this is the thing about Harry too. It's like every picture when he's talking to Mo, he's looking at him like this. It's like it's total solid eye contact the whole time. It's like if you're gonna tell him something, he's listening.
Yeah, so he can repeat it with air quotes.
Exactly.
You gotta pay attention.
Exactly. He's recording all of this that you're saying. So, and I Rothenberg said that Ryan had at one point been mumbling something. This may have been during the match about 37 earrings and 28 tattoos. Which, Kokkinakis has a little bit of that going on, but once again, probably kind of blaming Kokkinakis for Kyrgios a little bit there. So it was a whole adventure. And then the next one I think is with this made me laugh because it's like Mo's kind of at the end of his rope. This is almost like I'm going to choke you if you
Children.
Yeah, because there's all these pictures of him, like, he keeps putting his hand to his heart, like, let's just calm down. And at one point, he had his hand over Kokkinakis' mouth to try to get him to stop talking. So Hero was just kind of like, just stop it, just
desperation, just please, just play tennis, please. I hope he got overtime for that.
Yeah, right. Well, I guess apparently after it, he was like, I've never been in a match like this, and he was all gleeful.
He's had a lot of exciting matches over the years.
Yes.
The longest match, the most violent match.
Yes. Well, I think they tend to put him on with the crazy people because he actually is very good at talking them down from the ledge.
Yeah.
Because everyone likes him and respects him, and so no one really wants to like attack Mo. So he's like the perfect person to get in between these people or try to calm the voices in their head or whatever. But the rest of the match, I said Kokkinakis was joking with those the come on Ryan people after this happened. So it seemed like it had kind of settled down, but then when they went up to the net,
oh boy,
which was I think that was the title page one where Harry's looking really angry. What Harry said was that when they went for the handshake, Kokkinakis wouldn't let go of his hand and was telling him that, I didn't like the way you talked to me and all this kind of stuff. And we could hear Harrison at that point where he was going, I said good match, just let it go, man. And at the time we thought it was let it go meant just let the drama go, but apparently he wasn't letting Harry go either.
just let it go, man. Just let go of my hand.
Let go of my hand.
I wish there was a DJ on site and could have played Let It Go at that moment.
Oh, well that's another story.
Oh, did that happen? What?
No, they had the because it was late and the crowds had thinned substantially. The music from the food court got ridiculously loud, so that when they're playing, you could really hear, the music, and so both players started to get irritated by it.
That's weird.
And at one point, they were playing some kind of Mexican, samba kind of music. And Harrison stops to serve and looks at Mo and goes, I gave you Shaggy, but I don't speak Spanish. Can we turn this down? So Mo had to radio in and get them to turn the music down.
That's hilarious.
And then, later in the match, Kokkinakis complained about it, and then the fireworks at Kings Island, the amusement park, went off while Kokkinakis was serving, and then he was pissed about that. So it was just...
Well, I think fireworks during that match was appropriate.
I know. Yeah, maybe they weren't actually from Kings Island. They were from Harrison's Head. I don't know.
They were just... the theme, like, oh, we better set these off to set the mood.
Yes.
And samba music. That doesn't really fit.
But... No, it was just pure insanity from beginning to end.
It does. It seems like everything kind of went wrong, and then, but in the most beautiful way it could go wrong.
Yes, I said everybody that was there was thoroughly entertained. I mean, this kind of blew up on social media afterwards, and a lot of people were like, for one guy or the other, and they should be fined, and they should be this or that. And it was like, when you were there, it wasn't like that. It was just like two young guys who were just both hotheads. Kokkinakis is sensitive. Ryan likes, stirring things up a little bit. But, no one was harmed, and I said it
except
turned out
maybe Mo. Mo might have sprained something.
Yeah, Mo might have a twisted ankle now, but Mo enjoys the drama.
He does. He does. He really does.
So he was excited to be a part of this famous match. But I guess apparently Kokkinakis went after Harrison in the locker room afterwards too. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, so
Calm down, young one. Calm down.
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, that's another thing about Harrison is that you have to know, as I said, he gets like hot about stuff, but then later it's like, yeah, whatever. It's like
Yeah,
that
he's very
typical
chill.
guy stuff where they just like pummel each other and then they're best friends afterwards. That's more where he's operating from. But I think since Kokkinakis got dragged into the the Kyrgios, Wawrinka,
Yeah, but
Donna
he
Becker
doesn't have to
thing.
act like Kyrgios.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the thing is like he was dragged into it, but he doesn't have to take it to that level, and he kind of did.
Right. He made it worse.
Yeah, and it's just like I mean I don't know. I think they're all this whole summer has been really great.
For gossip and
For
drama. It's been
just
fantastic.
batshit craziness. Twitter won. Like all the Twitter shit. Everyone had stuff to talk about. Whether it was, whether you were pissed off or you were thought it was funny. I mean, you had stuff to talk about,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah,
still
definitely.
happening. Like there's still articles about it.
Yes.
It
Yes.
won't go away.
And I'm hoping to have a post up on this fairly soon but as you can see there's a lot. It's like I have a
Yes.
ton of pictures and there were even some other things that went on. So
Oh, I can't wait
it's just
to see it all.
it's just endless. It was
It
just the
is.
gift that kept on giving. I had dinner plans with some other people that we were supposed to meet up with. And I had told them, well, it depends on how this match goes. And I'm thinking, I'm probably not going to want to leave because I like both these guys, but, maybe we'll just be a half hour late to dinner. But this thing just went on for three
Yeah.
sets.
I was like, did you even show up to
No,
dinner?
no, and my phone died, so I couldn't even tell them. And I'm like, this is so wrong, but I can't leave.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I would park it right there. I would tell them to bring dinner with them.
Yeah, well, it was too late because it was the Applebee's, which is like miles away. So it was just kind of like, and the next day when I told them, and they were like, they knew I was at this match. So then once they
Yeah.
found out what had happened, they were like, oh well, I know you couldn't leave that. So we just made plans for the next night, so it was fine. It was like 10 other tennis people understand. It's like, oh yeah, no, you had to stay.
That's amazing. I don't know what your order is to talk about your stories, but I hope you have an Applebee's story in here somewhere.
Oh god, I really don't.
You don't? You don't have any? I wanted to go to all of my years going to Cincy. I never got to go to Applebee's because I don't drive and I never had anyone to take me, and it's just so legendary.
We did the one funny thing was we saw Boris Becker the day before Djokovic played the final up in Montreal.
I remember you tweeted about that. You were like, "Well, I guess Novak didn't need him."
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, I guess Nole's okay. And then when Nole lost, somebody retweeted my tweet about Becker and said, I hope those boneless chicken wings were worth it.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, Boris was at the bar with some other guys on Saturday night, and we did see Felly a couple times.
Ooh.
So that was kind of I didn't want Rafa fans to get mad at me, but it was kind of hilarious that Felly beat Rafa. 20 minutes later, he played a doubles match and won. Then he went to Applebee's afterwards to celebrate.
It's such an Ohio thing to do. Like I lived in Ohio my whole life. Like we don't have very many places to go, and you
There's nothing open. It's unbelievable
true.
how none of the restaurants there want to make any money off the tournament. They all close up at like 9 or 10. And so like 7,000 people roll out of the tournament at 11 or midnight and everything's closed, including like fast food, drive-throughs, everything. So this one Applebee's is out front of the players' hotel, and so that's where everyone is. Which is kind of the marvelous thing about it. It's like it sucks for if you're looking for variety, but
Yeah.
you'll go there and you'll see players and you'll see journalists and you'll see your friends and
There gotta be. I'm surprised Oh yeah, Bob Evans closes early. I was trying to think of what's there because I know Perkins usually stays open late,
yeah, they don't.
but I don't know if there's a Perkins around there.
Yeah, there's a Perkins and then like a Big Boy or something like that, and one closes at 10 and one closes at 11 maybe or something, but it's like if you go in there at, 10:45, they're glaring at you because they
Yeah.
want to go home. So
Yeah, that is surprising because, yeah, but Applebee's, man, jeez.
yeah, there wasn't anything too terribly exciting other than people were excited to see Felly, and he had glasses on, which I know some of the Felly fans were quite excited over that. But a lot of times it's funny when you see players out of context, when it's not Roger or Rafa or whatever, you see them in a restaurant and you're like, is that them? Is that, they don't
Yeah,
have their visor on. I
yeah.
can't quite
Their
tell if that's them or not.
visor. Yeah.
Because we had people staying in the hotel with us. We had Benchich and
Oh,
oh my
what
goodness.
hotel did you sit? Can I ask? You don't have to tell me.
Um
That's. I always say at Kings Island. That's always where I stay.
yeah, we were over in Westchester, which is like 20 minutes away, so we were far, but I think it was a Residence Inn, so it's like
What?
suite.
Wait, you stayed 20 minutes away from the tournament.
Yeah.
And there were players there.
Yeah, because I said
Wow.
it's suites, so I think people who are gonna stay there for 10 days, there's more room for your stuff, and there's a kitchen and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like
Oh.
an extended stay place.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it
that
was
makes
really
sense.
nice. But yeah, there were some players there. But we would be at breakfast and it's like, is that her? I can't, it looks like her. We had Muguruza and we didn't know it. Because it was like her face looked familiar, but she dyed her hair blonde. So I kept going, well, she has dark hair. That can't be her.
I I had two instances. I saw Lucas Kubat in a Whole Foods in Cincy. Whole Foods is another one. If you're ever in Cincy, if you want to see players outside the tournament, Whole Foods and
Uh,
Applebee's and
there you go.
Chipotle probably. Those are the three places.
I saw Cole Schreiber in Cracker Barrel.
Did you? That's amazing. And I also was in a hotel once with Igor Kuznetsyn
And
in New York City.
yeah,
So
so
that was it. But it is cool when you see them outside of the tennis tournament and
yeah, and they're usually smaller than you think they're gonna be. The girls especially, they're like so tiny. And then you're of course watching like what did they have to eat? Are they eating just, one, piece of fruit or
one piece
are
of.
they having these greasy
Are they having half a
sausage and
plum?
gravy? Yeah.
Are they downing a whole pizza?
I remember being very upset that Cole Schreiber and his team were having toast in Cracker Barrel, which they have the best biscuits and cornbread ever. So it was like an affront to Cracker Barrel that they were eating toast.
That's
It
hilarious.
was like so wrong.
Like, how dare you not have the biscuits, sir?
Exactly. The biscuits are so
An
good.
abomination.
And they come with everything. It's like everything comes with. Do you want biscuits or cornbread, or you can get one of each? When we always get one of each.
Ooh, I would, yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah, it's like I want everything. I want
Yeah,
it all.
exactly. Don't just give me one. Like, what's the point of that?
And we just went from Kokkinakis to cornbread. This is
Yeah, we just.
maybe we should go on to.
All right, let's go.
There
Oh,
we go. To here's depressed Stan.
poor Stan. I felt so bad. Like he had a tough week.
He had a bad week, and this was the first press conference that he did, and they originally had him scheduled for. There's a main press conference room at Cincy, and then there's these small interview rooms, which I didn't really know about, and so it said he was going to be in interview room 4, and so I go down there, and there's like 6 or 7 journalists standing in a hallway, and I go, "Oh my god, this is what Stan rates a hallway." And how is this interview room for? And then somebody says like, I don't think we're all going to fit in there, and I turn around and there's a tiny room like a closet
Oh
that's
my
interview
god.
room 4, and apparently that's where they send the players that they don't think a lot of journalists are going to show up for. But by the time they were going to bring Stan down for the interview, there were like 15 people in the hallway. And so they were like, oh, do you guys want to go in the main room? Yes, we do.
That's funny. They must not be in tune with what's happening in tennis. If they thought no one was going to interview Stan Wawrinka after
I,
what happened the week before.
exactly. It was like, it was so odd to me. I'm like, are you kidding? I guess a lot of times he just has French press
Oh,
interview
yeah.
him. I don't know. That was odd to me. But anyway, so he had the press conference, and of course, there was like maybe one or two questions about tennis, and then the rest was
Yeah.
about the Kyrgios thing. And this was I've never seen Stan like this. This was this expression he had for the entire press conference. And Stan is very known for his 4,000 different expressions and skeptical looks and bemusement and stuff. And I mean, he was just like monotone and frozen and looked like he wanted to be anywhere else but here. So it was kind of hard to watch. And they asked him about the Kyrgios thing, and he said with one sentence, Kyrgios touched and hurt a lot of people. And he said that Kyrgios hadn't apologized the right way or to the right people. And it was interesting because he kept saying he apologized, but not the way he meant to, which I think was a little language barrier thing. I think he meant he didn't mean it. He
Yeah.
apologized, but he didn't mean it.
He didn't do it sincere. Yeah.
Right, which he didn't, because it was like just like a PR statement thing.
Yeah, it didn't seem very apologetic, and of course with Kyrgios and his family getting involved
Uh,
in it, and it just seemed like not a very like, "Oh, I screwed up." It was more, "No, I'm well, like sorry, but I'm really right."
yeah, exactly, exactly. And Stan is like a super super private person, and so all at once his entire life is splashed all over everything, and people are saying really super ugly things,
Mhm.
and it was just really depressing. And so they kind of limited the questions, and then Stan said, "You know what? Just if you have more questions, just get them out, because then I'm not going to talk about this again." So,
That was smart on his part.
yeah, because it was like, if anything's lingering, but he really didn't give a lot more away, because he kept saying that there were consequences, and it wasn't really about him, it was about other people that had gotten hurt, and it was devastating. And he said that, the press, that to them this is just a story, and tomorrow they'll be on to something else, and then he's got to deal with all this fallout for who knows how long. And
Mhm.
one of the questions was, well, what were the consequences? And Stan said, I really don't want to, that's personal. I really don't want to get into it. So he got asked a lot of questions, but he didn't still really didn't give a lot up, because he doesn't want to.
Yeah. And I mean, he shouldn't have to either. I mean, it's gosh, it's such a depressing thing because like he said, so many people were dragged into it,
Right.
and it's such a bummer that because the press are just gonna make this as big as they possibly can, and of course, the fans on Twitter are gonna be terrible forever.
Oh, and it's just that everybody's so judgmental, and it's kind of like,
Hmm.
because he's so private, we really have no information. So it's kind of like, I don't know how you can judge somebody being divorced or having, relationships or whatever, without knowing anything about any of the people involved. That
Yeah,
people make like hardcore judgments, like, he's totally in the wrong and he deserves all this. And it's like, really? Do you not know anyone in your life that's been divorced? There are always like so many different sides to the story, and things going on in people's marriages that you know nothing about. So it's like, unless people are like committing violence against other people or whatever, and it's like most of the time it's like, well, we don't really know the whole story, so I don't need to know it.
yeah, definitely.
So, but I said I was so excited because last year I never got to see a Stan press conference, because they were trying out some thing where they would just talk to the players right after they came off the court. And so I was happy that this year I was actually going to get to see Stan in an actual press conference. And then Kyrgios fucked it up for me.
Oh, this is the most depressing. I'm surprised you weren't just like sobbing in the
Yeah.
back. Like,
Like, thanks a lot.
everything hurts.
Like, thanks for ruining it for me. Stan's always kind of like, he hasn't been in a great mood in Cincy the last few years. And this year he was coming in kind of on a high playing wise and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, this is good. He might win it. He might do press conferences. This will be awesome. And then all of this shit exploded everywhere and we got depressed Stan.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Thanks a lot. But we can move along and show there still was some good Stan stuff because this was actually before the dreaded press conference. He had a practice with Federer, which was an absolute madhouse.
I bet.
I got completely harassed by fans while I was there.
Jeez.
Because the court it's this the deck court where people sit with umbrellas and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
put the big practices there and there's like 5,000 people all standing and climbing over each other trying to see. And the press is allowed in the front along the fence in between the fans and the players. And some fans were extremely angry that I was standing in front of them, taking pictures and doing my job.
Yeah, I would just ignore them. I'd be like, look, I mean, especially because press doesn't usually stand in one spot very long.
Right.
So it's like, calm down. You can still see them.
Yeah, in the previous year, I remember that I took some pictures and I had turned around and said, I'm not going to be here. I'll move around. And everybody was like, oh, it's fine. It's no problem. And then this year, it was like, get out of the way. And why are you standing there? And I was kind of like, I'm sorry, I'm working. And people were like, well, you can work, but work over there. And then one woman said, texting isn't working. And I'm like, oh my God. And you can't get into it with anybody because you're representing the tournament. So there were things I wanted to say, but I didn't.
They're just jealous because you get in there.
Yeah, but that's what's become hard is that fans have fantastic access at Cincinnati.
They do.
They get very close to the players.
More than most tournaments.
Right. And so as a media person, then it gets kind of upsetting if you can't get a close view or can't get in it. And you've got fans who have these expensive cameras and stuff, and they're getting better material than you are.
Mm-hmm.
And you're there to do that. So then it's like, so these cases where it's like you actually get the access that you need and then people are harassing you. It's like, this is what I'm here to do. So that was a little frustrating, but I did get a lot of great pictures of the two of them and they had a really lengthy chat. And then they always have a moment where they stare into each other's eyes with love. And Roger's always sitting with his knees 15 feet apart, which is always entertaining.
I love how that was kind of a delayed laugh on my part, but it just sunk in. Like, gosh.
Hi, Roger. But yeah, they had an extensive chat, and a lot of people were assuming that what's wrong.
I'm sorry. I'm just like, you should have just fake tripped into his lap. Like, face first just dived into him.
I was not that close.
Sorry. And it was so inappropriate, but I'm like, I don't know how your husband would feel about that. He might be one of the angry fans heckling you.
Right. He wasn't there, actually. I think he was watching a women's match, so he was entertained. I was over by my boys, but they kind of got into sort of like serious discussions. So a lot of people had conjecture that Stan was talking about the Kyrgios thing because Roger was looking very serious while Stan was explaining stuff. But it's like they could have been talking about anything.
Yeah, they really could have been talking about anything.
They could have been talking about how to make reservations on your phone or it's like.
But, I got this new bread recipe.
I I can do this weird thing where I'm double jointed in both thumbs, you know? I mean, you don't know what they're talking about.
Oh man. One got his legs out like crazy, the other one's double jointed.
Yeah, exactly. Anything can happen. So that I think that leads up to the next picture. Oh, I think we put. Oh no, this is the right order. Sorry, I got confused. Um, I'm looking at Stan's abs. All my brain has just leaked out my ear. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say we went over this order and you approved it, so that's not my fault.
I know. It's
All you
not
at home,
right.
I didn't fuck up. I didn't screw up. That was her.
No, Stan is very elusive with the ab flashes. He seems to know when the cameras are on him, and he does it when your camera's down. When your arm starts to go numb and after you've taken 700 pictures, he goes, "Oh, I did the ab flash," and then all you have are like blurry pictures as you're trying to get your camera back in focus. So
I feel like Ernest used to do that to me.
yeah, that's it. It's like cruel. It feels cruel. So this time, my friend Sarah was across the court and she had her camera down, so he thought it was safe. As you can see, he's looking in her direction.
Huh.
Little did he know, I was on the other side.
Tag team.
I just snapped like 500 pictures, so I'm like, one of them will have to be good. But then we can talk about this too.
The next one?
He's wearing, now you can stay on this one. He's wearing his new dehedral underwear, which we talked about a couple podcasts ago.
We did.
They need to make him some new stuff. Because as you can see here, the waistband's rolled over already. And Stan was pulling at himself every which way.
Oh, God.
Like after every point in every match. It was horrifying.
Horrifying or amazing?
It started out kind of amazing and then got horrifying because Stan usually doesn't pull at his junk during the match constantly, and he was, and it was like, no, don't do that.
Don't do that.
That's too much.
Put it down. He has to put his dick down. Harrison got to put the air quotes down.
Air quotes down. Still dying over the air quotes.
I know.
I laugh every time I look at it.
I'm never gonna forget that.
I was so glad I got a picture of it, and I think I have a picture from like 5 minutes later, and he's doing it again. It was like an air quotes day. But yes, we got to see hunky, sweaty Stan, so that helped make up for the kind of depressing press conference. Oh, see, I have lost my mind. You can go on to the next one.
Alrighty. Oh, speaking of grabbing penises.
Yes. He had several very friendly practices with Leander. And I'm just laughing at all of the people with their cameras up while this is going on.
They know.
They actually were having a lengthy discussion about executing a backhand. And Stan plants his right foot on the backhand, and I guess Leander was seeing how he, I don't know, tenses up his thigh. I don't know. Or he was just wanted to feel him up. I don't know. Stan didn't seem to mind.
It seemed consensual.
It seemed consensual. He seemed to enjoy it.
Also, is that Mo in the background in the umpire chair?
Oh my god, I think it is.
He's present for every amazing moment.
He is. This Mo moment is brought to you.
That has to be a segment. It has to be a recurring segment on this webcast. Your Mo moment.
Your Mo moment. So that was entertaining.
Okay.
And then I think that kind of connects to the next one. This is lovely Benoit, who manages to make everything seem flirtatious.
Well, he's French.
Yes. And this moment with James Ward is just, I don't know.
He's lingering. Look, he's lingering his hand.
Yes. It's just like
the fingertips are touching.
Yes. It's like so sensual. I'm like, how does he do it? And then I'm going to do a post on this because then James Ward comes in and is kind of whispering something in his ear, and then they both laugh.
Oh.
It's like very, This is a very intimate moment that I captured standing right there.
And I loved Benoit's match with Djokovic.
Oh, it was
He
amazing.
was very seductive in that match.
Yes.
Like I think everybody pretty much wanted to bang him. I mean, just like he's just laughing and making those faces and we're
Yes.
all just like, "Oh no, take me. Go ahead. We're here. Our body is ready."
Our body is ready. And the tennis was gorgeous. I realized when I saw that Djokovic match that I had not seen Benoit before in that big stadium like that. And seeing the arc of his tennis, how he plays. And
Sorry,
it's,
I didn't know where you were going with that.
yeah, no.
The arc of what?
Of
What
what? Of his ass. No, I've
arc
seen
of
that very
what?
close up. No, it's weird how you view people's tennis different. Like sometimes when you're like right on top of the court and stuff, you don't necessarily actually see how their shot making and stuff. And seeing him on that big court and the crowd just loved him. He was playing so well and he's so creative and so passionate and his movement is so graceful and stuff. And then he'll be completely awkward and crazy. So it's like he's just so much fun to watch. And everybody around me was asking me about him. You know, oh, I hear you know something about Benoit Paire. This guy is awesome. He's
I
really
hear you
talented.
know something about Benoit
Well,
Paire.
because the people that sit, because we've got season seats and they're much closer than the media seats. So for the big matches, I sit there, and so it's all regular fans around me. And now they know that I'm working media. That now they ask me everything.
But I love
So
that you know something
you
about him.
tell us about Benoit. I actually, at this one with James Ward, the security guy came over and asked me who he was because everyone asks the security people who the players are.
Yeah. I got
So
into a fight with a security, or not a security dude. You know the volunteers that work the door at the
yes.
player area? I got in a fight with one of those dudes before. I can't remember if I told this story on this webcast, but I have told this story before where uh, one of an older gentleman that used to be sometimes with Team Gulbis. I don't know if it's an uncle or a relative, I can't remember who it was, had come in and the guy told everybody that that was his father. And I
Mm.
said, no, it wasn't. And he goes, yes, it is. I saw the pass. And I go, well, I don't care. Did it say Anar's Gulbis on it? And then he didn't say anything. And then Anar's was coming through. And I said, that's his father. And everybody around me knew to believe me.
Yeah, right.
And like I got in that dude's face because he kind of got in my face and he goes, I saw the pass. And he was so angry about it. And I was just like, dude, I've been following him around for how many years? I know what his father is.
Exactly.
Come on,
I
man.
know these things. Take my
Yeah,
word
like
for
you
it.
freaking work the door. I freaking stalk him. Like I'm an expert.
Well, I told this security guy about Benoit and his ranking and blah blah blah, and like 10 minutes later, JD comes over and says, "Yeah, that security guard already forgot everything you told him. He's talking to some guy over there, going, I don't know, he's French. That woman over there knows his name."
That's hilarious. You should just have a sign like, you know, like airport where they're getting the planes in and just have those like little things to like guide people to you.
Yeah,
Like over there, ladies and gentlemen.
over there, here, ask questions here. Well, it's like whenever you're taking pictures of somebody and people don't know who it is, they
I
flock to you.
I have a great idea. All right, everybody listen to this. Don't take this idea. This is copyright Courtney Massey. We're going to freaking have a booth at tennis tournaments, like you know how in Peanuts, like in
I
Charlie
was
Brown,
just gonna say, is
where
it Lucy?
Lucy has her psychiatric help, like $2, whatever. We're gonna pay people. We're gonna have them pay us for help on who players are and what's what,
That's right.
and we're gonna do that. No one take that. That's ours.
That's right. We're gonna be tennis tour guides, and we'll tell you who all the shirtless players are.
Yeah, we'll tell you who their names are so you can get their autograph.
That's right. So you can find the best baby born a butt that you can. It's
Yeah.
all the good stuff. But yeah, Benoit was very sweet too. I went to a later practice of his that was just after a Federer practice, so there weren't a lot of people there, but it was a cluster of very enthusiastic women, and
Oh yeah.
and one woman came around the corner with her husband, and she looked around and she went, "Oh, there he is. That's the one. He's so handsome." And all of us were like, "Yes, yes, he is." And so then we proceeded to just have a monster love fest for Benoit.
That is one of my favorite moments at tournaments, or when a group of ladies somehow get together and are all mutually gushing for the same dude. I love it. I've had that happen with Marat Safin, where we're all like, yes,
Yes.
yes, fuck yes to all of them. Like, it's just it's a great bonding moment with strangers where we're all just horned up
Yes.
fans.
Benoit was quite aware, so he
Oh
was very
yeah.
happy about it. And so then he started like goofing off and like
Oh.
juggling the tennis balls and bending over a lot and
Oh, the show
smiling
off.
smiling for no reason whatsoever because he knew he was being loved.
That's amazing.
But and then afterwards when he came off the court, he signed and took pictures with everybody and he was very, very sweet. So I just
I
wanted to
don't
say,
I don't think I ever heard him speak English.
oh, he
I just
does.
realized that.
He's
Does he? Like
yeah.
really well, or is it really
Um
thick? His
he's
accent.
very French, but he doesn't think he speaks English well at all, but he's fine. But he's not as good as like say Stan or somebody like that. He doesn't have a huge vocabulary, but he's fine.
Cause yeah, I can't. I just thought of that. I can't remember if I saw him, I heard him speak or not.
Yeah, yeah, no, and
I'll have to chat him up sometime.
he's very, very nice. And my friend Sarah was there and she had a Stanimal shirt on, which he was very excited about.
Aw, that's cute.
Yeah, so he still loves Stan. Lots of bromance stuff going on here, even from unexpected sources.
Yes, definitely.
So we can move on to the next one. This is just more stuff that's awesome about the Cincy tournament, as we were talking about getting close to players. A lot of times you have to look in the corners around the practice courts and you will find people like Yaroslava Shvedova doing a little stretching exercise over here. I was like so excited. I took a picture of her and you can see she's got a tiny smile because she knew I was taking a picture. She's probably thinking, why are you taking a picture?
Like, this is such a weird pose for me to.
Yes. It's like, do I look good? It's like, you look lovely. And she's one of JD's favorite players, so that's another reason why I took this. But she's pretty awesome. And she beat Muguruza at this tournament, which was a very big win for her.
Nice.
She was playing some great tennis. So we've seen like Tim Smyczek stretching over in a corner and stuff like so it's like you have to kind of keep your eyes peeled because you're always just focusing on the courts and a lot of times these people will be elsewhere doing other things because only the big guys have entourages and massive security and stuff, so just kind of keep an eye out. There are players everywhere.
Yes.
So you can go to the next one.
Thomas.
Tomas, who I seem to have some kind of bizarre radar for. This is at the player entrance that we've talked about before, where the players come in and out during the tournament, and they have little gates up, and people can wait there for however long they want, and you'll see whatever players come and go. And I've run into Tomas 2 years in a row, purely accidentally. I was just walking through, and actually Kevin Anderson was coming through signing autographs, and so I turned around to take pictures of him, and Tomas was right in front of me. So Tomas is very nice to fans, and as you can see, he's extremely pretty.
He's wonderful to fans. I think I mentioned this before. I think the one guy in the black, I think that's who it is, who has the pictures that they have people sign to sell them later on.
Yes.
And I think I mentioned this on the webcast before that Thomas stood there and signed every single one that guy had. And then he left, and me and him looked at each other and went, "Oh my god, he signed them all!" Because normally they maybe sign one or two and then they move on, and some don't even sign them at all.
Right.
And Thomas just stood there and signed one after the other, and he's very friendly and gives a
Yeah.
lot of his time to fans, which is really nice.
Yeah, he is nice. He takes really nice selfies with people and stuff.
Yeah,
He's
and
very,
he
very sweet.
he is very pretty.
I know, he's gorgeous and it's like there are some players that's like I think most of the players look nicer in person, but some people are like, "Oh my god." It's like there's a striking difference when you see them in person. They're like a lot softer and prettier looking, and Tomas is just lovely. He's extremely tall and
He's
fluff,
very tall.
fluffy haired and just
I
gorgeous.
know. Oh, yes.
So, Tomas. Moving along. And then
But
here's more butts that you can see at the tournaments. Just a little selection here of Camila Georgie. The guys on my timeline were really excited that I had some pictures of her in this extremely tight outfit.
yeah, I was gonna say those shorts, man.
Yeah, most of the girls wear hot pants when they're practicing, so it's like but her outfit was particularly body hugging.
Yeah.
And Dominic Thiem, has the ass that won't quit, and of course Stanley, whose shorts were extremely see-through. So I have some interesting
Awesome.
pictures of that too. And this is little Pierre Herbert, who was just in the final at
Oh,
Winston-Salem.
I love him. I've had a crush on him for quite a while.
He's lovely.
He's very pretty, and those shorts, because I saw all of your pictures on your website.
Yes.
They look like underwear. They were so tight from the
Yes.
back. Like they didn't look like regular shorts. So I was just like, it looks like he just came out of bed and just decided to go practice.
Yeah,
And I love it.
exactly. And he was practicing shirtless with Nico Mahu. And they are both extremely skinny guys. It's kind of like skinny, pale Frenchmen, although
They
he's got
are very lanky, aren't they?
yes, but
Little string beans.
they're very pretty though, and Nico is extremely nicely proportional. He's got nice wide shoulders and stuff.
He's nicely proportional.
He's a good looking man. But Nico, it was funny because Nico shot me a look at one point because he saw that I was taking about 100 pictures of Pierre, and he seemed very upset with me.
Like, hello,
Like,
I'm shirtless here
yeah,
too.
I mean, that kid? You're looking at that kid? What about me?
Yeah, like, isn't he a little young for you, lady?
Yeah, exactly. Move that lens over a little bit, will you? It's like Nico, I promise I took pictures of you too. So this is just a sampling of the awesomeness that you can
Yes.
see. And we had to get baby born a butt, of course, but this picture was also fascinating to me because oh my god, look at the shoulders to waist ratio.
Oh my god.
He looks like a
He look
Barbie doll. It's like
I was gonna say he looks like he's wearing that hourglass. You know that new fitness thing. Well, it's not even fitness. I can't even say that. But the new thing that makes you wrap around your stuff. It's like an infomercial, and it's like a genie glass thing, and it wraps around your waist and makes you have an hourglass figure.
oh my god.
It's
There
the
you go.
worst. It's the worst. Women, don't buy that.
He's got Spanx on. But I was just like, I saw this picture and I'm like, well, the ass looks nice, but oh my god, his waist is so tiny. But it's like he's got nice big shoulders, so it's like I think he's
I do.
gonna.
I'm into shoulders lately.
Yeah, me
That's been
too.
my thing lately.
Yeah, Fed has a nice set of shoulders for being a skinny guy too, and that makes up for a lot for me because I'm not usually into like beanpole guys. I like them to have some shape.
See, I used to
Mhm.
be into this skinny, scrawny, no muscle, just straight up and down dudes. And then I got into pro wrestling
Oh, yeah,
and
totally
and
different.
and started getting into the more muscular, bigger shoulder type dudes. So now I like everything. Just,
Yeah,
whatever you got, I'm good with.
that's what it is. I was looking at those shirtless pictures of Nico and Pierre, and I was going, I just like men.
Yeah,
Just
man.
like
We just love penises.
yeah.
We don't care. We're just like, hey, if you're sweet, got a good personality, you make me laugh,
Exactly.
just we
You,
like what you're working with.
yeah, you've got some muscles somewhere. It's like you don't have to be all muscle, but if there's something that's going good for you, we can make it work.
Oh man, I can't
So
wait to hang out with you and your husband at a tournament sometime.
he is awesome.
Yeah.
JD was really amazing at this tournament because I said he's my man on the ground. He makes it seem like we're everywhere because when I'm posting pictures and stuff, he's going around all the practice courts and he takes pictures of shirtless guys and butts and stuff for me because he knows our fans love it. So
Yeah, he's such a trooper because
yeah,
he's put up with my jokes and added jokes.
with
Like,
added jokes.
yeah, like he's great. Like you scored big with that one.
I have. He's awesome. So we had a good tournament because there was a lot of fun stuff, and I said he goes and sees some more of the women's matches sometimes when I'm busy with Stanley. So we've got everything worked out. So but I said he was really helps with the when we do the tennis tournaments together. So he was awesome. So there's we can move along to what our next thing is. Oh, this was Maria. This was another. There's interesting things that like you learn things when you go to tennis tournaments, and like that some players look different or their personality is a little different than you expected. And Maria was awesome in press conference. This was she had a problem with the microphone. They switched from the ATP to the WTA thing on the microphone, and they had just left it there. So then when she came in, she was like, "Am I supposed to put this on?" So it was kind of entertaining, but she's she kind of has that cool demeanor thing, that reputation and she was very gracious. She answered, all the questions. She, laughed. She told jokes. She was pretty awesome. And I know there was only one question that she just artfully didn't answer the question that had been asked.
Do you remember what it was?
Yes, because this was unfortunately she withdrew from the tournament with an injury because she was just wanting. She felt like she had played maybe too soon in Canada, and then now she didn't want to jeopardize the U.S. Open, so she just didn't feel well enough to play well and then go on to the USO. So one of the people had asked if she had felt the way she did today at the USO, would she play? And she kind of talked around that and just kind of reiterated what she had said about she hadn't had enough practice and she felt she needed some rest and blah blah blah. Just didn't actually answer the question, which kind of is an answer in itself. I
Yeah,
a lot of times people I get upset about it too, but I understand it. A lot of the players are, the slams are the thing. And
yeah,
so any tournament that's leading up to that is just kind of like a lot of players will say, "Oh, this is just my warm up. Oh, so I only won 2 matches. I don't care. And then I have time to rest before the USO." And for people that spend a lot of money to go to the tournament, to have the player go, "Well, I don't really care about this tournament," is kind of upsetting. And apparently, some of the press feel that way too. Like, well, if you were well enough to play the USO, you should be well enough to play here, or So that's kind of what this guy was going for. But I said she was very polite, but she didn't really answer the question. So she's artful, but she's
hurtful.
also entertaining. And she actually came in right after Federer's press conference, and you knew it had to be somebody big because they always do English press and then they do the Swiss press, and the Swiss press usually just get to go up and ask him some questions. It's usually a small cluster of people. And this time they said Swiss press will have to go out in the hall with Federer, which is like unheard of that you make
Wow.
Federer leave the main
Yeah.
conference room. And that's because Maria was coming in. But what happened was Federer got held up by somebody in the back who decided to have like old home week with him. I just wanted to catch up, and all the handlers are going, "Oh my god!" And because it's like, God forbid the players run into each other, like they'll be offended or something. They're very they treat them very much like Hollywood divas there. But so they Fed and Sharapova actually did run into each other, and they hugged and kissed each other. It was really awesome. So
Aw.
they're very friendly with each other. So that was nice getting to see two beautiful people being awesome.
Yes. This whole episode is really about two beautiful people coming together. Sometimes volatile.
Yes, with fireworks
Yeah,
and
sometimes with fireworks and air quotes, and other times with grabbing each other's nether region. I don't know. Uh,
yeah, grabbing inner thighs. So
yeah,
all kinds of good stuff going on. Playing with microphones,
yeah.
which I suppose could be seen as suggestive too. I don't know. But here is lovely Rogelio with his trophy. Um,
Shelia.
with the cute little tennis balls on it. I don't know if you've noticed that.
I didn't notice that any other time.
Yeah, it took me like a couple of years before somebody pointed out that it had little tennis balls on it. And by the way, once again, I am pointing them out to you.
Oh, I was doing that earlier with Mo. I was pointing at Mo to the back of the photo.
Yeah, so Roger won and was kind of, I don't want to say subdued in press, but he was not quite as goofily cheerful as he was last year. I think he said he wasn't expecting to win. So
Oh.
I think it kind of took him by surprise. And then I sort of felt that he was almost a little disappointed that it hadn't been harder. Because that's the way Roger is. It's like he likes the challenge. And he played so well all week. He never got broken for the entire tournament. And Nole was just not quite at his best, which he isn't on a super fast court anyway. But
He cannot play well in Cincy.
there's something about it. He just,
He can't
I,
win here.
I mean, Roger bageled him the last time they played in a final. So this was at least, it was higher quality than that. But he, um, I mean, no, I thought maybe no, because Nole wasn't at his best all week. I mean, he might have had some kind of small injury thing going on, or stomach upset, or something was going on in a couple of his matches. Um, but he basically, like in his press conference, was just kind of like, "Yeah, Roger just plays well here, and he just attacks, and the court's fast, so all of Roger's shots are winners." And he just seemed like he just kind of got bowled over by Roger, which just pretty much just said that. So I said Roger was happy, but it kind of seemed like it took him by surprise. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I won. Check that out.
I didn't prepare a speech.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, but also Roger once again made us wait a long time. I was a little upset at him because in Cincinnati they have after the person wins their final, they come out onto the champions balcony
Mm-hmm.
with the trophy and they wave and everybody gets excited. So what it is the whole, well, not the whole stadium, but a majority of the stadium empties out and they come over this champions balcony and it's, like thousands of people waiting for Federer to come out. And he didn't come out. And it was like 88 degrees out with blaring sun and we're all just melting out there. And Serena's match started. They started the women's final while everyone was still out waiting for Roger, which I thought was kind of uncool.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't see why they couldn't have waited because I mean he came out within like I don't know 10 or 15 minutes from then, so it's like they could have postponed the ladies' final a little bit because the whole crowd is outside, and then plus then when he finally did come out, then everyone cheers and all that kind of stuff, and you're right next to the main court, so they can hear that.
I mean, I'm assuming TV, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, and well, and I guess because the match says not before 3 or whatever. So if it's 3 o'clock, then they feel like they have to start it, I guess. But to me, it I just didn't seem right to
Yeah, but
start the match when
all I
people
could
aren't
think
there.
about is maybe TV.
Yeah, you could be right about that. But so anyway, so then we did that, and then you got to go in and wait for Roger to come into press, and he didn't come into press for ages. So the women's match was like a set and a half in before he finally came to press. So people
Wow.
were sitting in the press room and they had the big screen on and people were watching the women's final on TV. So that was kind of a that didn't work out so well.
No. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, which is that's what a lot of people have asked me about, why weren't there a lot of people at Rafa's press conference and stuff like that? And I go, well, because this is what happens. The press conferences go on while there are matches on.
Yeah,
So
and
if you have to cover another match or if you have to write something up and they were supposed to be there in a half an hour and they didn't come in for 2 hours and you're doing an interview with somebody, it's not always as simple as just go to the match and then go to the press conference because it's pretty much seems like it's up to the player. So it's like if they want to like take a shower, go get some dinner, have a massage, and then come to press, we really don't have any control over that.
yeah. Yeah,
So
I imagine a lot of media people were very anxious.
yes, yes, that was it's hard because some people cover either ATP or WTA, so some people it wasn't affected, but a lot of people do both, and so then if you're only one person there, it kind of puts you in a rough position.
Hmm.
So that's my story about that. But it was awesome to see Roger play so well this week. He really does love Cincinnati, and they asked him several times about that, like why does he think he does well, and he didn't really have like some big shining thing, but it was just sort of like like he likes the court speed, he likes that the area is quiet. He said it's kind of more like it is at Switzerland. He said when he goes to New York, for the USO, he goes, that's enough city for anyone.
Yeah,
So it's nice to kind of be
I,
laid
I
back
I agree with
beforehand.
Roger because I'm not a city person whatsoever, and I love that Mason is outside the city,
Yeah,
so it's just like a town like what I grew up in.
right.
So it's very just relaxing and quiet.
Yeah, well, it makes it a lot easier to get to the tournament and stuff too, because you have some traffic, but you're not dealing with city level traffic, and it is a lot quieter and more subdued. But I was actually surprised because he said he'd actually only been to Cincinnati a couple of times. I always thought that he was staying in some posh hotel downtown because it's not that far out. But apparently he doesn't. So I know I had heard before that he drives his own car usually when he's in town, but of course, he had a Mercedes. Is that the one he
I think
does
so.
for?
I think some of them rent. Do they rent places? Because I know like there's a golf course next to the tennis center, and there's all these beautiful houses, and I
Mm-hmm.
think some of them are for rent, aren't they?
Oh, that
And
could
I
be.
think
That's
some
possible.
people rent those too.
Yeah, that's possible.
I don't know if the players do, but I know there's some available to rent.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, that's a
they're
possibility.
expensive and out of my price range, but
Yeah.
they're there.
Yeah, so I don't know, but and he said, and then once he started winning here a lot, then obviously you kind of have a good feeling every time you show up. So
Ernest always says he hates Cincinnati because he goes there's well it's in Mason. I shouldn't really say Cincinnati.
right, right.
But he says he hates Mason because there's nothing there, and all there is a hotel and an Applebee's, and you sit outside and get depressed. That's all you could do. There's nothing to do.
You're supposed to be practicing, Ernest.
Yeah, exactly. But you don't need to go to a party. There's
Right.
a big boy.
there's,
There's a Walmart.
there's a White Castle. I mean, come on.
There are a lot of food options around there.
There's an amusement park next door.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah, that's and a lot of the players go to Kings Island, which is cute.
yeah.
I never went to Kings Island yet.
I never go to anything. I'm at the tournament
I
for like
know, I am
15
too.
hours a day.
I never make like an extra day to go anywhere.
No, no. And even when we do, it usually ends up like there's not enough time to really do anything else. And it's all about the tennis for that 10 days.
Exactly.
So,
Anything else with Cincy?
oh, the Cincy was I. Oh, the other thing about Roger was when Roger comes into press. uh, everybody's usually quiet for press conferences when the player comes in. It's kind of like a respectful thing where everybody kind of quiets down when the player comes in. But with Roger, it's like this super respectful hush, and it's just all quiet. And for the final, Roger comes in wearing flip flops. And it's deathly quiet, and then you hear Roger thwack, 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 all the way up to the podium, and it was hilarious. It was like, Roger, that's so inelegant.
That's hilarious.
Because then you know how that is when you wear flip flops and you go
Yeah.
somewhere where it's quiet, and then suddenly you feel super self conscious.
Yeah.
You're making this thwacking noise as you walk. You kind of feel it from Roger, like maybe this wasn't the best shoe choice for a press conference.
I would have started laughing and
Yeah.
audibly and probably
Yeah.
broke it.
All right. There you go. No, it's not quiet anymore.
Yeah, because I'm just laughing and you going, shut up, don't. You can't laugh, it's Roger.
You can't laugh. You can't laugh at the Roger. Oh my god. So, and the other thing was I was supposed to talk about the elevator, wasn't I?
Oh, yes. That, yeah, I'll let you do it. Go ahead.
I always have it's always crazy riding the elevator because the elevator is for staff of all kinds, including people with giant bags of laundry and huge food carts and garbage cans. We were
and
on the elevator with
oh
garbage
my
the
god.
other
First
day.
of all, I will also like to mention it's a very tiny elevator.
Yes, very tiny
Like
elevator.
really, like only like 4 people without anything should fit in it.
Right, right. And it's usually about 15, with various accoutrements. So it's always an adventure. And then you have the regulars, as I call them. There's the posh people that have box seats up top. They get to ride that elevator. And then sometimes players get on, and the players are always very upset to be with the regulars. So it's always you follow the elevator etiquette where everyone just stares at the wall and doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
So I ended up I ran into a lot of players this time, but I ran into Milos twice, and the first time was uneventful. The
Oh.
second time, which by the way, he is so super tall. I'm 5'9", so I'm not used to people usually towering over me, and I like came up to his shoulder. It was so strange. It was like, oh my god. But he got on, and I think he was with Ivan this time too. And this older lady next to me asks for an autograph, firstly, which Milos kind of looked at her for about very strained 30 seconds, and then he did it. It was just very quiet. And then there was a woman who had brought, she came on with one tray of like macaroni and cheese. And what happens is the elevator goes up and down several times because the elevator operator has no control over it. So every time someone calls it, you were supposed to be going up, but then you go back down again and pick up more people.
Really?
Yes, and then you
That's not how elevators should work.
no, and then you come back up to the same floor you just got on, and then more people try to get on, and then you go back down again and go.
Oh
So
my
it's
gosh.
like,
Can I just say I want to be on an elevator with Ernest School Miss when it does that, and
yeah,
I will film it.
yeah, it's insane. So it's like you might be trying to go one floor, and it'll take you like 10 minutes. So, so we go back up again to the same floor, and there's a person there waiting with a cart with 4 different like trays of food. And the person that has the macaroni and cheese goes, "You should switch with me. You're more important." So they switch so that the woman with more food can get on to the elevator with all the rest of us and Milos.
Oh.
And the doors close, and the woman who's the staff person goes, "Well, Milos, you're going to the dining room. You don't need to go anymore. We've got everything right here." And Milos once again like doesn't really respond at first. And then he slowly turns around and leans over and starts looking at what's in the trays on this cart. And he's going, cheesy noodles. I wonder what that is. And oh, rice. Oh, that would be good. We could have rice.
I think I would have just died. Like,
I
I would have been laughing like
woman
so
had
hard.
made this like joke, and he was like taking it extremely seriously. And then I couldn't decide if he was taking it seriously or if his was like such dry humor.
I'm gonna assume it was dry humor.
It was hilarious. It was like, I'm just gonna sit here and look at each one of these trays and and
What's
then
in this one? What's in this
what's
one?
in that one? What am I
You
gonna
should
have?
have did air quotes. Cheesy noodles.
Cheesy noodles. So it was just like this another moment of absurdity.
Oh,
And I'd actually ended up with Yvonne was then on there the third time without Milos, and he was with two other guys, and we got to one of the floors and they were going to let more people on, and Yvonne was like, no, next floor, and the other guy goes, no, come on in. And so there's like 10 people come on with their umbrella drinks and
oh boy.
big bags, and
I'm with Yvonne on this one. Like,
I
get
know.
the hell away.
I know.
Like, I dread when a lot of people come on an elevator, especially that is a teeny tiny elevator. I would be
Yes.
so scared
Yes.
because of how small that elevator is.
Yes, and the people are always seem to be very like rambunctious and like excitable. They have money, they're not afraid of talking to anybody, I guess. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's always a very interesting dynamic. So that was one of my interesting elevator stories. I said I ran into a lot more players this year. Last year I rode up with Roger and Edberg, and that was like my big time because a lot of the players take the stairs because usually they're only going one floor, so they don't bother. But currently Milos just saving his steps for the court.
They might they're just like, oh, I'll take the elevator. Then once they get on, they go, oh yeah, it's hell.
Yes.
Why did I make this terrible decision?
Now I know. Now I remember why I didn't want to do this. I almost ended up on the elevator with Serena on finals day, but we were going up and she wanted to go down, so she decided instead of riding the clown car up and down for 20 more minutes, she would wait until we were all done going to our floors. So I missed riding the elevator with Serena.
Aw.
So I guess that's it for Cincy. I probably have like 1,000 more things to talk about, but it's just too much. I'm there for like 11 days from the draw party to the final, so there's a lot that goes on, and
You have to put everything on your website. For
yes,
sure.
that's the plan. I have like 15,000 pictures, and that's not an exaggeration.
All right, so we'll move on from Cincy, sadly.
Yeah,
I miss that tournament.
Cincy.
And we'll go. I wanted to mention Kevin Anderson winning Winston-Salem. I wanted to mention this trophy. And why does the trophy from Winston-Salem look like a sea urchin and like a very deadly one? Like, you could for real kill someone with that thing. Like murder. Legit murder.
Oh, that's what someone said. They wanted Rafa to go and play there because they wanted to see how he was going to kiss this trophy, because you'd like put your own eyes out trying to get in there.
You're gonna kill someone. Like they could one wrong move and a ball kid is just gone.
Don't drop it. Don't drop it.
Yeah, drop it. It will go right through their shoe.
And now that I'm looking at it, it looks like it's like rusty and corroded, so you can like get a disease while you're
tetanus
punctured. You need tetanus shots. Oh my god!
It's like I don't understand this design. Like I can understand it maybe if it was like a top, like on a like.
I was just gonna say we're on a pedestal or something.
Yeah, but like just to hold this awful pointy ball Because you have to like hold it carefully because you'll
Yes.
stab yourself.
Yes.
I mean, you could just one false swoop and you can just kill someone. So yeah, I had to mention this because I go, this is nuts.
Yeah, and Pierre what got the runner-up one, and I think that one's maybe made out of wood.
Oh.
So if you're a vampire, that could be really
Oh,
bad.
Vampire Hunter. Ernest needs to win that.
To take care of all those vampires.
Yes! You could just have that one ball and just spin it and throw it like a ninja star and take out all the vampires in tennis. That would be awesome. All right, now I love it. Now I love it. It gave me a fan fiction thing to do. I'm going to write that. I'm going to write the ninja star thing. Thank you, Winston-Salem. I wish you were in Salem, Massachusetts, because then I could do a whole Salem witch trial joke, but I can't. But yeah, now it's thank you. That just made it awesome now. I'm sorry I made fun of you, big ball that could kill someone.
Well, this one maybe we could say it's made out of iron, because doesn't that work on demons according to Supernatural? So
demons. I don't know.
Yeah, I think iron works on demons and ghosts.
We need to make one silver to take out all the werewolves.
There you go.
Look at that. I'm gonna write this of tennis players getting these trophies that are actually weapons to take out supernatural beings in tennis tournaments. I'm gonna write this. No one steal this idea. No one steal this idea. Copyright Courtney Massey. I will sue your ass.
And that's the motivation to win the tournament, because so then you can kill these beasts that are after you.
We gotta write this. I'm serious. I'm seriously gonna write this and put it on the Traveling Fangirl. And like you all can write in suggestions for it too. Like I will write this and it will be a continuing story. Oh, this is amazing. Because we did have conversations before about how there's many trophies that look like sex toys. Yeah. And now like we're going weapons. It's amazing.
They're so versatile.
Yeah. Sex and violence.
I'm going on the pleasure tour. Oh, I'm going on the demon hunting tour.
That's amazing. No, we're going to write this. We're going to make this into a movie.
Oh,
I'm going to start a Kickstarter and make my own film.
There you go.
That's amazing. We're going to do this. All right. So we're going to move on from the Death Star thing. Death Star thing. And we're going to go to Gregor Dimitrov.
Oh, baby.
And his yoga spiritual.
Yes. Namaste.
Namaste. Buddha.
This was epic.
This is Buddha's delight right here.
This is wait, go back. What is that, an owl in the corner?
Yeah, and it looks possessed. He needs the Death Star. Kill it. Kill it. Throw it like a bowling ball.
Freaky.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It doesn't even look like a cute owl. It looks like a really scary owl.
It does.
I hope it's not real.
I know, well, that's the thing, is it looked like you have a real owl just sitting here watching you do yoga. Is it the owl from Harry Potter? I mean,
he likes the view.
Yeah, exactly.
The view is a hoot. The view is a hoot. You know what's a hoot? This view is a hoot right here.
Oh, this one.
This is the best part.
I almost died when I saw this. It's like, thank you, Grigor.
Yeah, like, thank you, Buddha.
Thank you, Buddha. This is my nirvana right here.
Praise the Buddha for the gifts that you have given us through spirituality.
Oh, that's lovely. That Grigor knows his audience. We did this wannabe heartthrob thing before, and he's keeping it up, shall we say?
Raise the roof. Oh, yeah, that's lovely.
So thank you, Grisha. You are a wonderful human being, and we enjoy having you around.
Well, he does bring so much joy to so many people. Apparently no longer Maria, but you know. Oh, I went there.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Grigor.
I'm too funny for my own good.
We have more
Just
sex to go on to,
oh
don't
yeah, we have so much sex. We're not done yet, folks.
we? Oh, hello.
Rafa Nadal has a new ad I will play right now.
Let's take a look. Dun, dun, dun.
Look, we're all
Ooh.
silent. We're like
We got nothing to say.
the
We're
butt
watching.
is speaking. I'm not gonna lie, I died at this commercial. At this right here.
Yes.
At him calling us all the pervs. He called us all out.
Yeah.
Like, girl. This ain't for you. Like, I know you want it, but Like, what a ridiculous face expression that was. Look at this. That's kind of terrifying.
He's
Like,
acting. He's acting.
His acting's amazing. But I died because I didn't expect that face. Like, whoa, almost penis. Oh, what? What is that face?
Right.
Like he's judging me with this weird ass look on his face. Like, how dare you, Rafa Nadal?
I was saying, and I'm like, he got jealous that everyone was talking about Stan's booty too much, and
Yeah,
it's
and
been a long time since that Armani shoot, so Rafa decided to bring out the nakedness again.
I mean, he really that was getting low.
Yeah, he went for it, and I have to I have to tell you, for a moment during it, I went, "Is it actually him? Did he have a stunt front?"
Like, I was so surprised he did this.
Right.
Because he seems to be, not too revealy.
Right.
And
He's
I
not
just
shy. He's definitely not shy.
he's not shy, but he's not I don't know how to
He's not a
describe
super exhibitionist.
Yeah, like he doesn't do things that are super sexy, like sexed up.
Right.
He's not so much like that. Although he did make out with Shakira in that music video. That
Exactly.
surprised me. He does out of nowhere, he'll get like real porn.
It's in his,
All of a
he's
sudden,
in that part of his cycle. He gets horny.
yeah, he just gets real like, and it's surprising because I remember when that Shakira video came out, like I totally screamed at the end because I didn't know that was coming. And I screamed at this because I thought, oh, whoa, getting low. What is that face? Are you kidding? And I died because it's such a ridiculous face expression. And I was just like, oh my God.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, there's more. He was not done. Brought to you by Erotico Magazine Tumblr. Here's some of the images.
Yes, and this was the thing I was going to say. When Rafa did the Armani underwear, he kind of looked like a Ken doll.
He did.
He sort of had the little bump. and Tommy decided to, give us the goods here.
Yeah, no, I think Tommy Hilfiger did really good on this.
Yes.
And we're not done yet, man. We're not done. Rafa played a little strip tennis
Yes.
at a promotional event this week.
Which, I don't know, playing in a suit is super sexy. Roger's done it too, and they just look so hot because they just have these like perfect tailored suits on,
And then
I
he
don't know,
took off the suit.
and then he took off the suit, which was even better. And they had models in underwear playing tennis there, and people were going crazy. And I saw all these pictures of Rafa half dressed and naked models, and I'm going, I think I planned my travel plans wrong.
Yeah.
I should have been here. Hell with Mason. Fuck Applebee's.
Fuck Applebee's.
I could have been staring at Rafa abs.
They need to make like Applebee's into like Hooters.
There you go.
Like, tennis players.
There you go.
Where they're like in shades and shirtless, serving your hot plates of food. I'd go there. Yeah, man. We gotta make that too. We gotta make so many things happen.
That's right. So Rafa was very good to us this week.
Yeah. So next we got the Nike court was pretty much everywhere.
Yes.
Steal the show. They literally did steal the show.
Yes. They had all the big guns there for Nike. and Roger looking gorgeous in white with Pete. And then I like this next one because I'm going to point again.
Uh-huh.
I
I
like
know
that
where you're gonna point. I know it.
Rafa and Grigor are
Or
fondling each other in the
embracing.
background in their matching camo outfits, which I totally love.
I know, I
But
like them too. Some people were being really rude about that.
I know some people don't like camo, and I guess I used to not like it, but now I love it. I
I
wear
don't love camo, but like I think it looks good. I hate plain. No
Yeah,
offense,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
Agassi in the photo that have no
They're
pattern
little
whatsoever.
white.
But I like patterns, so I'm like, you know
Yes.
what? That's fine. And he's in America, and camo is kind of,
Yes. Uh,
America.
well, that was what was funny was they had Armed Services Appreciation Day at Cincy, and my
Mhm.
husband and I both were wearing camo just coincidentally. We're like, it's like, oh, we almost like we planned this.
That's funny.
Which, camo is actually a great thing to have, at a tournament, because if you spill stuff on it, no one knows.
I remember someone bumped into me when there was a Chinese food place in Cincy. I don't know if it's still there. I don't think it is. And I had a sauce with it, whatever I had, and I was trying to find a seat, and someone just bumped into me, and I spilled it like all over myself. But I had a black top on, so you couldn't see it.
Oh, at least that. Yeah, so I love this picture because Rafa's grabbing at
Yeah, where are
Roger's
you
leg
grabbing, man?
with his tongue out too. It's
We
nice.
got a lot of grabby pictures this week. A
Yes,
lot of hands.
and Roger seems to be enjoying it. So it's like
Yeah.
all the Fedel fans were like all excited about this again. And this is just Maria looking gorgeous.
This is such an awesome picture of Maria. Like she's just glam.
Yes,
That
and
could be a
she's
cover of a magazine, which is right there.
yeah, exactly. And then the two, she's flanked by two hot guys, top tennis players. They look gorgeous. She's just like amazing. It's like they put the fan on her so her hair is
Yeah.
blowing back. It's just like wow.
They glammed her up.
Yep. So I just love this whole cluster of
I
pictures.
liked we didn't put it up there, but there's one where they're on a car. And I
Yeah.
think that looks like a music video, like an old school 80s music video where they're on the cars. And I just love that.
Yes. That was
And
pretty
they all
awesome.
look good.
Yes.
Pretty, pretty, pretty. So the US Open's coming up, obviously.
Mhm.
And so what do you think of the draw? Any
I I'm
opinion?
always with the draw. It's kind of like, oh, the stuff's probably not going to happen anyway.
Yeah,
Everybody
I
always
know.
maps out all the stuff at the end, and then when you get to the end, it's like the couple people you expect to be there are going to be there, but a lot of the shakeups along the way thing it usually doesn't pan out to the way you expected. But the one thing that's really, really, really upsetting for being at the USO is that Serena, Venus, Sloane, and Madison Keys are all in the same quarter. So
That's surprising.
it's horrifying.
It's horrifying, but it's also surprising like that happened. Like
Yeah. It's like did someone make a deal with the devil or something? It's like, and the
apparently.
odds are Serena's going to probably be the one to come out of that. And it's like so disappointing because you're wanting Sloane and Madison Keys to have some kind of big run or something, and Venus fans are upset. And so that just, I don't know, this whole, like for about a year now, it seems like the Americans, if there's like four Americans in 128 people, the Americans will play each other in the first round and cancel each other out, and then those two guys will play each other. It's just like there's like some kind of a sick joke where it's like we're not allowed to like get more than one person through at a time. And at the USO, it's particularly upsetting because it's like
Yeah.
late, the last few years, it's like we hardly get anybody. If we get people to the fourth round, we're excited. So to have them, they're
Yeah.
going to cancel each other out really sucks. So that's from the women's side, and then they did the draws, projected draws for the top players, and as usual, Djokovic pretty much has the easiest one, and Murray's is kind of hilarious.
Oh my god, that first round, dude.
Yes, he starts out with Kyrgios, which
Do
I
you
don't know.
think do you think he could do the upset?
Kyrgios, sure. I mean, he can always do the upset, but I don't know if he will, but
Oh,
I think he can.
I meant to ask you, did you see Kyrgios when you were in Cincy? Around?
No.
Because
I
the
didn't.
reason I asked is I asked my friend this and she didn't know. So if anybody out there listening, I was wondering what the fan reaction to him was, and if he did get heckled at all, or were people respectful and just let it go? Because it was
Uh,
right after.
yeah, I'm trying to remember because I know I saw some tweets about him getting booed and at some things.
Well,
But
I'm
his practice was there was one of his practices was pretty busy, and people were taking pictures and stuff. There were,
yeah,
there's a lot of people that are
I
just
know he.
interested because of the fanfare.
Yeah, I know he posted pictures of him signing autographs and it seemed all happy, but I did wonder kind of what the mood was because it was just coming from that,
Right.
it was still very fresh.
Yes.
So I was very curious of what the reaction was around the grounds, and I know we kind of talked to people and wondered what the reaction was to him, and I know my friend went there, but she didn't know. So if anyone has any insight, you can tweet me.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I a lot of times a lot of people don't know about some of that stuff. A lot of the people come, they're like kind of live tennis fans, and they don't really keep up with all the gossipy kind of stuff. Because I noticed that I think Stan was seemed a little relieved about that because there, at the practices and stuff, a
Yeah.
lot of people didn't seem like they were aware that anything was going on or whatever. So it's like, because I know some people had asked me, they're like, do you think people are going to shout out horrible stuff to Stan, at his practice? And I'm like, people don't usually do that in Cincy. It's like usually the only thing I've heard of is like bad advice about how to play.
Well, no, I don't think I've ever heard anything like that in Cincy, but I've never had that situation before. Where it was so fresh and so
Yeah,
controversial
it's a
and stuff.
pretty
But I
pretty
didn't think they
scandalous
would say
thing.
anything to Stan, but I was more concerned about Kyrgios.
Yeah, well,
I
I
felt like
I was ticked off at him, so I wasn't interested in giving him more press, really. So I didn't go
yeah.
over
No,
there.
I mean, no, I don't condone what Kyrgios did or anything like that. But yeah, I was very curious about what the people's reactions to him would be.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see him go against Murray and if he could come up with the upset and what the reaction would be from people as well.
yeah,
'Cause he's,
yeah.
he's still controversial right now. Not everybody wants to see him, you know, have that
No,
big of a win.
no, it's kind of a mixed thing. It's like some people like that, they think tennis needs to be fired up with more obnoxious people, and then other people are really upset about it. But yeah, if Kyrgios comes out, I mean, he has a way of like bowling people over because he just attacks and hits huge and just goes for every shot, and sometimes he can kind of knock you back. The thing is, I'm Murray's pretty good on defense, so he'll be a little harder to do that too. And Kyrgios's thing is always whether he can sustain it or not. So in a slam, it's a little harder because you got to keep coming up with the goods for at least 3 sets. So I mean, I would think Murray should come out of that one, but Kyrgios is definitely dangerous. He's definitely one of those people that can do a big upset. But yeah, so Murray gets past that, then he's got a couple of easier rounds, and then he's got Anderson, which can be tricky because of the big serving. Then he gets Stan, then he gets Fed, and then he gets Djokovic.
Oh,
So, easy peasy.
yeah, totally.
That
That's
is
nothing.
just add another slam to my tally. And this was the other big gossipy thing was is if actually Kyrgios does make the upset, then there is a potential Stan Kyrgios match lurking.
Oh God, that better if that ever happens, if the tennis gods allow it, that has to be a night match at the U.S. Open because night people are crazy. They're all drunk. They want
Drunk.
blood. Like night crowd in New York, they want blood. Like freaking, they want a tiger to come out and eat their faces. Like they're crazy. And if you're gonna have a rematch like that, you're going to have the craziest atmosphere, the most alcohol you can drink. It's going to be insane.
If we're
So,
gonna do that, I totally want them to come out in the gladiator wear then. I want them in
yes.
those little leather
Yes.
G-string things with chains around their necks. I'm all for
Yes.
this.
Freaking come out like gladiators, everybody hyped up on booze, cheering for death. You know, someone's leaving, someone's not. Like, go out. Like, that's what I want. Like, if we're gonna have this, we're gonna have it. You know what I mean? Don't half-ass it. Don't put it in the middle of the day or the morning. That's bullcrap.
That's
You
right.
you put it on a night match where people are gonna be crazy. They're gonna get crazy.
And then do
And
we have to have Mo there because there
yes,
has to be
put
another
Mo
Mo
on
moment?
there. We gotta have a Mo moment.
Because he'll be all dramatic. 30, 15.
Oh god, he's gonna be great. Oh, I kind of want it to happen just because I like the theater of it, and I think if this happened like I described it, I want to see that. But oh man,
I almost feel like both of them would try to do something before to not have to play that match.
huh.
Because I think Kyrgios kind of tanked his match in Cincy so he wouldn't have to play Kokkinakis after all this stuff happened because they were supposed to play each other and suddenly Kyrgios was hurt and tired and whatever and so I don't know if he'd want to play Stan again so soon.
I don't know. If that's gonna happen, they better do it all out. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Stan's talking to Murray right now going, you better fucking win.
Yeah, swear to God, man, if you don't win this,
You and I are going to have words.
oh man.
Oh,
I felt like
so,
I had a joke here too, and then I just forgot it. That's all
oh,
right. It must not have been that funny.
I don't know. I think we're done because there's going to be
Yeah.
plenty of USO stuff to talk about once we get into the nitty gritty.
Yeah. Oh, I did have a question. Oh, I can ask you this next time if you don't have an answer. But I was going to say, if you looked over the draw, do you think we're going to have another Marin Cilic moment this year?
Oh God. Um, I say no.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I
Mm-mm.
didn't think so last year.
Yeah, but I don't think so because I think Roger's going to win.
You might be a little biased on that, but I'll let it slide.
You know what? It was funny because they asked Roger about that in Cincy, and he was kind of because they were saying about his ranking being number two, and then you won't run into Djokovic till the final. And he's going, he says I haven't gotten to a final at the USO since 2009, so I'm really not thinking about that.
Oh wow, has it been that long?
Apparently, yeah,
Really? I didn't think it
yeah,
was that long.
yeah,
Wow, I have a really bad memory.
yeah, because it's all been like Djokovic, Rafa, and all that. So,
Yeah.
so and
Dang.
Andy.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he was very very honest about like yeah, there's a lot of people who want to win the U.S. Open, and I thought it was kind of interesting too because he said that it's the last slam of the year, so it's like the last chance to make a big splash in a slam. So he says everyone's always super motivated at the USO.
Yeah.
So he said he was just he's gonna go there and play as well as he can, but he was not counting any chickens yet. So
And speaking of Andy, every year my mom mentions, hey, remember that time Andy Murray puked on the court?
oh god.
I don't know if you remember. It was such a long time ago
I was
where
gonna say no because I don't remember that.
I can't even remember what year it was. It was a really long time ago. And
Oh my
he was
god.
puking all over the US Open court.
Oh.
And my mom, every year, hey, remember when Andy was puking on the court?
Oh my
He was
god.
really young. This was really old. I can't remember what year it was, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm trying
So,
to remember that the year Sam Stosur won, that happened too. I think it was Panetta. She had like a few tough matches that she won in a row, but one of them she was got sick all over the court because it was it was 95 degrees with 102% humidity. So it was one of those good days.
yeah,
But
Andy's was a night match. I
yeah,
remember that.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember. I remember he was really young. It had to be, I don't know,
That's
maybe
got to be the worst.
2008, maybe, I don't know.
And they always like film it too. It's like don't
Yeah,
show
and then
them.
the slow-mo.
Yeah, it's like, oh my
I
god, I
remember
don't need to
there's
see
one
this.
moment where that ball kid just totally like tripped over the barrier or something. He went down and
Oh
they showed him over and over.
yes.
Oh, moments of the US Open. You have blessed us with so many crazy moments. All right. I think we can wrap it up for
Yeah.
the night. So you can follow all both of us. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm getting loopy. It's late here. It's like 2:30 in the morning. I'm like barely awake right now. So you can follow me at Courtney Mania on Twitter and Valerie at Tennis Inside Out. And be sure to go to tennisinsideout.com for all her Cincy coverage
That's
because
right.
I'm sure it's going to be amazing. And I've already seen some of the pictures, like I said, that are just butt-tastic.
Yeah, that was JD told me that, maybe you need to start a whole separate website that's just all butts, and I'm going, I think that's what our websites become. I think we're already there.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, you should do this. And then they're like, we already did.
So we have Butt-tastic Dommy here as our end credits once again.
Yes.
So yeah, so that I yes, there will be definitely more Cincy stuff on the site because, like I said, there is tons and tons of stuff that we saw and experienced, and there's all kinds of flirting and fun facial expressions, and so we have it all. So I think we're done for today.
Yep. Bring it
So
home.
so this has been the night session.